when you've only known someone over Skype, it is the weirdest thing in the world to realise that they're a three-dimensional person.
True.
That's what's really weird.
Yeah. We've been doing lessons for
about
a year.
Yeah.
And it's always been online.
Yeah.
All those Skype lessons. But yeah, finally meeting in person.
I know. I've got some footage actually of just us on random Skype classes, just to show how kind of get back from the gym and we've got a lesson and stuff like that. So I've really appreciated the flexibility and also the friendship.
Yeah. I mean, it's a one-to-one lesson and it's about language. So you start learning, you start speaking, and eventually you speak about the things you care for, and then you get to know each other really well.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. We're not following a textbook and doing exercises.
Yeah.
We speak about ourselves and our lives and what did you do yesterday, what are you doing next week, how do you feel about it.
Yeah.
So it's really like a friendship that develops over that. Yeah.
It's so true. Like you wouldn't get that really in many other sort of learnings, would you? Because if you're learning a language, it's like, I'm going to talk about me for a bit, you're going to talk about you for a bit. I know so much about your life and you know so much about my life.
Exactly, yeah. And that's why we meet in person. We wouldn't otherwise. You didn't come here just for lessons. You came here, you said, let's meet. And
exactly. Yeah. And what is good is that when you get to a certain place in learning, you go, okay, let's try and have as much of this conversation as possible in Greek until we can't. And then we move back to English and then as much of these points about life as possible in Greek, which is really, really nice. Have you ever met any of your other students in person?
I have met another couple of students who came to Greece for holidays and others who actually came for crash courses of lessons.
Because in a way, like, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but then as soon as I met you at the airport, I was like, oh, it's fine, it's George. It's just it's just like we've clocked on Skype. And I think for me, like being here and being around your family and sort of like throwing myself into it and being around Greek speakers more, I think that's exactly what I wanted. Do you know what I mean? For some people that would be really overwhelming, and that's certainly not what you sign up for if you do lessons.
You can always go meet your tutor, and exactly because such a friendship is quite common to develop between the tutor and the student. They can meet and you can meet their family, you can meet their friends, you get to explore the city, and cool. You know you get to practice your language and your listening, but you're still in a way in a safe environment because your tutor is with you and they can explain anything that's needed.
Like I don't actually feel scared to fail in front of you.
You've done it a million times. So, and you know I'm there for you. And you know you're going to progress. This is the only way to progress and learn.
And also what's nice is when we're listening to Greek music together, like in the car or something, I can just stop at any point and be like, what does that mean?
What does that mean? It's
so
great.
That's really good, without being annoying.
Not at all. And that's like the extension of the lesson in real life.
Yeah, in real
Driving
life.
Together and listening to music, as you say, and meeting people, getting a coffee, and discussing, oh, why did you say that? Could I say it in a different way? It's a lesson that's outside class. It's not just that it's not online. We might be even meeting in person, but the fact that we are out in real life and interacting with actual native speakers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Like the other day we went to a cinema, an outdoor cinema, and we bought the tickets and stuff, and then obviously you were having like the back and forth with the person that was selling the tickets. I remember just being like, why did they say that? Like, what was that? And then like after, let's just go through what just happened, which was quite nice because like when would
it wouldn't
that
happen
ever
in a lesson?
in real,
exactly.
in a lesson. It would with my family. Why would I be that annoying person that's like, oh, sorry, Dad, can you just go back and just say all of that slower so I can catch it?
Yeah, being here with your tutor and interacting with Greeks, but also being able to learn at the same time, ask little questions.
It's really good.
You know,
it's really, really good.
And get to know the culture as well.
Yeah.
Well, in your case, you know a big part of the culture. I mean, half of your family is Greek. More than half of your family is Greek.
I'm half Greek, a quarter Cypriot, and then a quarter English.
Yeah.
And like sometimes George and I get into like cultural conversations.
Love that as well.
And we love chatting about culture. Obviously, I guess for some people it might be less important, but for me, we've gone off on tangents about coffee and like coffee culture. Just things that I'm really interested in and I think you're quite interested in as well because you're very observant as a person. I'm happy to talk about that as much as possible in Greek and like learn at the same time.
That's the reason and the way I love language. I mean, not in the sterile school-like way, but because language carries all the culture. And when I teach a language, I also think of like teaching the culture behind it and the way people live who are using this language.
Yeah. And I think that is so valuable. As soon as you start to understand another language, you automatically understand another culture and you're like you're opening yourself up to like just being able to understand people on a deeper level because so many things are lost in translation, aren't they?
Of course.
I've seen it with like my own family, and I don't want to get too personal, but like disagreements or just things that cannot be explained through only language. It's like a cultural thing that is embedded in people.
Yeah. And so typical that you listen to Greek guys or to Spanish people speaking, and everyone gathers that they are fighting because it's a classic.
Yeah, when we were in the car driving from the airport to here, we were talking about different mannerisms and like different gestures that mean certain things. George went like that to somebody.
Yeah. I was trying to find park. And there was someone in the car, and I wasn't sure whether they are leaving or not. Go by the window, go like that, which means like, are you leaving?
And then and just this.
This means no.
Yeah,
it's not like How do you do like no? Like no. Yeah.
That's no. But in Greece, it's that. Yeah. And me and my brother always used to laugh about that growing up, because if any of our aunties or uncles went we'd joke that they were about to fall asleep like this.
Yeah.
we used to find that so funny as kids.
And this is all part of learning a language in a way.
Yeah,
exactly. When you're outside the textbook.
Like that.
Yeah, signs and gestures and.
Yeah, and this is my dad.
How was your experience learning Greek with me and before? What did you enjoy? What did you find difficult?
Okay, so I'll start from the beginning.
Okay.
So obviously half Greek, born in the Midlands in the UK, went to Greek school as a kid. So just a little bit about Greek school. Absolutely love the friends I made there. All my cousins were there, and extended people that were connected to the Greek church in our neighbourhood, in our community.
Yes.
But the Greek school was so bad that we all just messed around all day. We didn't care. We were kids. We just wanted to have fun, play pranks. So absolutely zero learning got done.
Right.
At most, a bit of reading and writing and
when you
colouring
were in. Class was pretty boring and repetitive.
It just, for me, I just didn't commit. I was too young and I didn't care.
I guess you couldn't relate it to actual life out there. It felt like something you had to do,
Well, imagine being a kid and going to school Monday to Friday, and then your parents say on Saturday you're going to Greek school. You're just like, what?
Why?
Are you joking?
Yeah, everyone's getting a weekend.
Yeah.
You would hear the Greek language around, at your home. They would speak Greek.
I think it's really interesting. I think people whose mothers are Greek will hear more Greek, but because my mum always spoke to me in English, my dad was there, but always working, so we didn't have as much Greek all the time.
You know what? Yes, this is why they call it mother tongue.
The mother tongue, yeah.
I would say 95% of our students who originate from a country and they want to learn language, it's their father's side. If it's their mother, we don't see them because they know the language.
Yeah, because their mum has spoken to them.
Yes. They might be English, but also originating from, their mother might be also Spanish or French, and they would learn this language. Yeah. But anyone who has a father who is from another country, they don't know the language.
Okay, there's clearly something wrong with society and absent fathers, and
it's called mother tongue.
The mother tongue, yeah.
You learn from your mother.
You do, and I think that unless it's constantly spoken to you as a kid, not just for the 4 or 5 weeks of the year that we'd be in Greece or in Cyprus,
but it's everyday life.
It's everyday life. Yeah. If you don't get that, you don't get enough of it. You don't have the confidence for all of those reasons. So that was me as a young kid learning.
Excellent. What happened after that?
After that, I kind of got to an age and that I was like, do you know what? I just want to commit. I've managed to build up a business that allows me to have a little bit of time freedom, and I was really thinking about what I want to do, and it was just be more connected to my family and be better at Greek. And also I wanted to learn Greek and not Cypriot slang Greek, which I hear a lot in my boyfriend's family, which is fine. Accents are amazing and colourful, and there's so much culture that goes hand in hand with that. But I just really wanted to learn Greek.
Yeah, and then you can add to that
all the
expressions and different accents.
Yeah. I found the first school I could find online, and I didn't have so many great experiences. For anyone who watches my videos, you might remember a video I made called Somebody Tried to Sue Me. I didn't go into detail in the video, but it was actually this old Greek school that were trying to sue me. It was so bad, and I didn't quite realise how bad it was until I actually tried out a trial lesson with you.
Yeah, this can't work with an adult learner. So you were, while you were doing lessons with them, you actually looked for a different school and you found us?
Yeah, I actually checked my inbox and I'd got a reply from your school. So
you had sent...
I'd sent multiple emails, and the school that was bad just happened to get back to me quite quickly.
Yeah, right.
And then they kind of got tied in, and I think you'd agree, I'm quite an accommodating person. I sometimes don't really know what I'm missing out on until I try something else. Right. So then we did our trial lesson together, and you said, do you know what, just do whatever feels best for you.
Yeah, try both.
Yeah.
You can do a trial lesson with me doesn't cost you anything. See how it feels. I'm going to tell you how we're going to learn together and how it is. And we're definitely very, very flexible with all that. So
exactly.
Yeah, I think you finished your course that you committed to with them.
Unfortunately, I was on like a package. I had to commit, like a lot of financial commitment.
We never do that. I mean, even if you're a plan, even if you've paid for the month, whenever you want to stop, pause, cancel your plan, you're free to do that. The idea is not to force people to do lessons or to pay for lessons they don't do.
Which is amazing. Like, and that immediately felt more to my style and immediately felt more like what I needed for my learning.
It's what an adult learner needs. It's not like a child going to school. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I said it earlier, but like I was being given homework and then it would be half an hour before the lesson and I'd be like, I haven't done my homework. Like the panic was real. I felt like a child again. So like all of that was behind me. And then I ended up with you guys at Language for Life and Business, and the rest is history, George. Here I am now.
Learning and enjoying.
Enjoying my holiday.
Your holiday and the learning process.
Yeah, so that's my story. That's how I came about finding you guys.
Did you feel that you progressed, like your confidence growing with your speaking, your listening ability to grasp what's going on more and more? For me, as I'm so confident in English, I don't know if I'll ever be able to match that confidence in another language. Like it might take a really long time, but I am patient, and I feel like if I was more reserved and shy as a person, I'd actually feel like, do you know what? Like I feel really good in where I am with Greek, but I know I've still got a long way to do. Even if you don't get, immediately to that goal, the fact that you can speak a bit, that you can understand some things that are said, it's so rewarding. I mean, emotionally.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I do feel really proud of my progress, and I'm still nervous, but who wouldn't be as an adult learner?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Even my family are like, oh, wow, nice, you're doing well. And I'm like, yeah, thank you.
do they feel that you're progressing, that they see that you're getting more of what's going on?
Like me and my dad would do like voice WhatsApp notes, like voice notes.
Yeah.
And whereas we'd always do them in English, like now we'd just do voice WhatsApps in Greek. And that's really nice. Like I tell him what I'm up to, what I'm doing, what I have been doing, what I'm going to be doing. And I'm just like, and he's really proud of me. And
do you ever speak some Greek with your boyfriend?
Very little, actually. Very little. Yeah.
You should set up like a Greek coffee every week, like Saturday morning. We're going to have a 1 hour coffee in Greek.
Yeah.
And let's see how this works, and really help each other. Yeah. So even just really for half an hour and try do it.
Or even just like us having a coffee with someone else as well, so that we don't slip into our old, just like...
Like, switch back to English.
I don't know. Maybe would you ever do that as a learner when you were learning Spanish?
Oh, I would also do it with friends who would speak English with me normally. We would set up a time and just try to communicate in Spanish, which would be their native language.
Nice.
So I didn't have any other Greek friend who was learning Spanish do it.
Okay.
But we do have students who are doing group lessons. They do a meeting every week by themselves, trying to meet to communicate with the language they're trying to learn.
Yeah, that's good.
With each other,
So one of my cousins married a lovely Irish woman, and my cousin's from Crete, and so she moved out to Crete, and this was probably like 10 years ago, maybe more than 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago now. And within 6 months, she was completely fluent. She didn't speak a word of Greek, and now she's got kids who speak obviously fluently in English with an Irish accent and fluently in Greek because they were born in Greece. And it's just like really amazing when you see someone who has no other option but survival in a country and how they just learn it. And I think there's something to be said about living outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly. That's definitely the fastest way to learn a language. That's how I learned Spanish. I went and lived for a year in Argentina. And you have to learn the language to communicate. Okay, not everyone can actually do that in their life, but it's good if you try to travel for maybe a couple of weeks and try to communicate as much as possible. We also try, we're planning to do some courses where you can actually do like group lessons. People coming, for example, in my case, students as you coming with other students to Greece and spending a week where we can all be together and speak Greek and practice and go out for drinks and get this feeling of like, I'm in the country and I need to communicate.
Yeah, that is so unique, and I don't really know of anyone else or any other thing that is doing that. It's so different to like, learning a language on an app. Like I have nothing against those apps. I know that
they can be helpful for building vocabulary. Yes,
building vocab, like just
practicing in between lessons. But it won't get you actually speaking and understanding the language. It's a helpful tool.
It is that's just it. It is a tool, and like
better than textbooks. Definitely.
Anything with like audio is so much better. Like I do I do love those features, but I just think for me, I had to be speaking with a native speaker at like certain times. We set it in the diary, we're going to be speaking, and then the best part about all of it is that it just feels like we're having a chat. And
exactly, no one is testing you. No. You're not expected to know anything. We try different things. It's never boring, I hope. So we try, some listening exercises, some speaking exercises, but it's all about real everyday stuff that we want to speak about.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you learn through speaking within context, always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? The thing that is the most annoying is when someone says something to you. It happened to me earlier today over here, and then like you finally, like 5 seconds after, like they're like, oh okay, she didn't get it, but then you finally get it, and then you're like, wait, I know what you're talking about. Let me just
try and work up.
That's so like just the pace. Obviously, that doesn't happen in lessons because you're allowed as long as you need to think about your response.
Yeah, but we do those like more immersive exercises where, for example, we do listening, okay?
Yeah.
When one type of listening exercise is that we're trying to learn something new.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use mostly known vocabulary and add there every now and then a new word and try to recognize it. And in such cases, I would speak like really slowly and clearly for you to grasp the new word. But there are other sort of exercises where we want to try and strengthen your ear, let's say. So I'm going to use just vocabulary that you know, but I'm going to speak in a natural accent and speed. So I know you would understand everything I'm saying if it was in a written form, for example, if I spoke really slowly. So then I'm going to speak fast and with a Greek accent, for example, and start training your ear to start recognizing all this vocabulary you know when you hear it in an everyday situation. So that's a different exercise, and we do both.
Yeah, it's good. It's good when you introduce new vocab in a sort of subtle way, in that, like, as a learner, you're like, okay, well, I can figure out what that means because I know what all the other things mean.
Yeah, and keep repeating it in different contexts.
Yeah, that is really rewarding, actually. And then, like what you say about speed, it's so nice to be able to understand people at full speed because you're just like, oh, okay, like I'm here, I'm with you. And I feel like as like a coach, you're someone who knows what someone needs. Like if I'm low confidence that day, we might have a lesson that's a bit more like stroking one's ego.
I know exactly what you mean. I know what you mean. And it's a fine balance, really. It might feel totally relaxed and improvised from your side of things, but it's really methodical, and you can tell when someone is really daunted, and you then need to give them exercise, let's say an exercise. I mean, it's always a speaking exercise, but a little boost, so you give them sentences to translate from English to the language they're trying to learn, and you're going to give them vocabulary that they know. And they say this, they then feel, because when you get daunted, you feel, oh my God, I don't know anything. I've been trying so hard, and I'm still in, zero.
Camera cut out, the battery died, we're back, and we were just saying that it can feel daunting when you're not getting it.
Exactly. And it's really important that then the tutor will give you some sentences to translate from English to Greek in that case, that I know you know the vocabulary. And although you might feel, when you feel daunted, you feel that, my God, I've been trying so hard and I still don't know anything. I mean, still ground zero. But then I would give you some sentences to translate based on your knowledge, and you would actually translate them. It would be that simple, and then you would realize, actually, I do know quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's really a psychological thing again. You'll start feeling much more confident and start working on new stuff and go with something harder.
So that's basically my journey. That's where it started up until this point.
I hope you'll keep enjoying it, keep visiting Greece, meeting family and being able to say more and more things and be part of the whole thing.
Definitely. I mean, your family are really amazing about it. They're just so accommodating.
Everything around food.
Always.
The Greeks are
part of the culture.
They're part of the culture. We love doing that.
It'd be unusual to meet an unaccommodating Greek.
Yeah, maybe. Not everyone is like that, but it is a cultural thing. You would usually, that's what you usually find in Greece. So let's see. What are we doing next? Going to see a bit of Thessaloniki?
Yes. So we're going to go into Thessaloniki. I'm going to go and buy some mosquito repellent. And more soothing gel.
Have a look at the city.
Yeah, my dad always says that if you get bitten by mosquitoes, it's because you're not thinking in Greek.
Right.
So I'm still thinking in English. So that's something we need to address. start having Greek thoughts.
Definitely, we'll do that. Some more Greek music and get you into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And go meet maybe Greek friends in Thessaloniki and go out for a drink, apart from the countryside and the sea.
Yeah.
Let's see the side of things as well.
Excellent.
Great, so we'll see you there.
See you there.